Hello everybody, Horseman here, and today I'm going to be bringing to you some more Torchlight. And I'm really excited about this in particular because we've had a huge update with just this last, June 30th. And I have to admit, I am very impressed with what they were able to bring to us. And, I mean, some of the stuff, we're still missing quite a bit, don't get me wrong. And there's going to be more updates coming, but just making this video in and of itself was very difficult at first because I started playing the Forged and the Forged was broken. I mean, it had so many issues that I almost ended up skipping this video. And I know, like the last time it was just a full-blown video, I didn't stream it, but this time I'm going to go ahead and stream it. I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the Dusk Mage, and then I'm also going to get into some of the things that are really cool about what they brought with us in the latest update on June 30th. One of which I haven't been able to get to yet, is they gave us Act 3. So now we do have the ability to go to a whole new zone. See if it'll even allow me to do it. No? Alright. Well, I usually can't do it from there anyway. And we can go to a whole new zone, which is really cool in and of itself. Let's see if I can get there real quick. I think it'll let me. And we have all this new content, which is great. Level cap and a ton of fixes across the board to include character rebalancing, to include, I mean, just a plethora of really cool different things, and I'm going to highlight some of them today. Before I get into those, the main thing I wanted to get into is the actual character and what this class has to offer. Because of the cool updates, I had some new little features in place where I was able to actually get to level 20. With that being said, I can showcase all the abilities, and that is what I'm going to do right now. So this is the Forged, a mechanical automaton that is, we don't have a whole lot of backstory on it as far as why it's helping, why it's fighting against the Netherrealm. I'm sure we'll find that out at a later time. And it has two skill trees called Barrage and Brawl, and these are pretty fun. Okay, at first I had a lot of issues with the abilities because they were underwhelming, they didn't perform well, and I didn't understand what this character was supposed to be. But after spending some time with it and after the fixes, I now have a better idea as to what I like for my particular playstyle. But I'm not going to get into what I like. I want to show you the actual abilities. So on the first thing we're going to do is look at the Barrage tree. We're going to look at each of these abilities one by one to show you what I like, what I dislike, and go from there. But since I am level 20, let me go ahead and get these level 20 abilities while I'm here. Sweet. We'll show those last. Alright. So, the first ability is going to be Rapid Fire. It is exactly what you think it is. But I don't see a gun, and that's exactly what these doors are. So what he does, he opens up those little doors and he shoots. So that is definitely unique for this kind of character. You think sword and board, it's like, but he has a gun. He has a flippin' chest cannon, and that is kind of cool. So this, rather than pants, he has, or he, she, it's a he to me. He has some shield doors, okay? And then he has legs, so to include the feet. And rather than a focus, he can also equip this chest cannon, as well as a shield and sword. So in my opinion, and I don't know if this is going to be something to consider later on, is that it almost seems like they get more stat slots. I don't know. I don't remember other classes being able to equip this much stuff. As you can see, I got extremely lucky with being able to get some legendaries, and of course I'm having too much fun. Long weekend, what is there else to do? Good afternoon. All right. Okay, so with that being said, let me go back in the inventory. All right, so yes, I got very lucky. And one thing I also noticed is that earlier I got 2 of these Ancient Ones tokens, and I was able to equip them both. Later on, I ended up getting this Clockwork token to kind of benefit legendary stats while not doubling up on the special skills. So my pet is like a god right now, so it's pretty badass. All right, so you saw that rapid fire. The tier 1 bonus, rapid fire can stack 3 more times. Tier 2 bonus, 20% barrage skill damage. And Tier 3 bonus, every 10th shot of rapid fire also shoots a slug shot, dealing rapid fire its current weapon damage. So it's got some pretty neat abilities, and of course with every upgrade, you also get a boost of damage. Again, this is what it looks like. And it does some decent damage, but honestly, it's not that great. At low levels, it's really not great. Yes, I was able to do the double uniques for my pet, but not necessarily for the main bits of gear because you know, you can only use one sword. There's no dual wielding. It would have been really cool if you had a character that can dual wield, if they can equip 2 fire starters, but unfortunately, that is reserved specifically for shield or an offhand. All right. Next. Oh, one thing I did forget to discuss is, go back to the skills here, is that the resource is heat. So in this case, the Forged is going to build up heat with certain abilities, and then then you'll end up having to vent said heat with another ability. So there, you kind of play a bit of a balance, but it's also is a nice way to have a consistent amount of special use abilities as you're fighting along. So when you're doing a build, it is very important to make sure you have some type of cooldown ability, which in this case is going to be the next ability that I'm going to talk about, Vent, Coal Launch, and then your Rapid Fire is going to build that heat. So I'll show you how that's going to work after I explain this ability. Coal Launch. Launch hot coals from your furnace that land in and set the ground on fire. So it's a fire damage over time. And it also does kind of like a rain of fire type of thing. So just hot coals are going to rain down on your enemies in a small AoE. And I noticed that the damage itself seemed a bit marginal. So let's demonstrate how that looks. As you can see, my resource bar, that heat is going up, up, until it gets full. And now I'm kind of slowing down. So, boom. That's what it looks like. And honestly, it looks badass. Melee pet. All the pets are melee. But with the special abilities, my pet can also now summon 2 other spirits and also do shock novas as he's fighting with me. So the dude is pretty badass right now. Alright. Next up, we've got Shotgun Blast. Much like the rapid fire, your chest cavity is going to open up, cannon's going to come out and do a short-range cone AoE that is going to blast enemies, and all the while building up that heat. And then you'll notice as soon as I vent, it doesn't vent just a little bit, it actually vents the whole bar. And you can get right back into doing it. And you don't have to wait till it's completely full to do it. But waiting until it is absolutely full not only increases the damage, but also critical hit chance. So, wrong button. Alright. Next ability is Poison Dart. I like Poison Dart. I really like Poison Dart. It is an ability that when you hit an enemy, it just does poison damage over time. It does exactly what it sounds like it does. And I will admit that it does a fair amount of damage. Fire Poison Dart that explodes on impact, dealing 110% to an enemy on impact and leaves the lingering spot that poisons the enemies who stand in the area for 110 25% chest gun damage per second for 6 seconds. So it does a decent amount of damage. So as you dump points into this, that poison dart damage is going to go up. And then we have our tier bonuses. Poison dart slows enemies who pass through it. Tier 2, 65% pet damage. That's a weird, weird tier 2 bonus for this ability. What do pets have to do with it? I don't know. Tier 3 bonus, enemies killed while poisoned by poison darts explode in a wall area for poison darts current weapon damage. So this has been one of those questions where we see that we have overall passives that don't necessarily have anything to do with the ability itself, which lends to think if we get the ability and build it up, but then later on we find out we're not using it, do we still get those passives, or does it have to be equipped? I don't know. We haven't been able to really figure that one out yet. And one thing that I also just realized I forgot to do was talk about the tier bonuses for coal launch and for shotgun. So let me rewind that back and go to those. So, coal launch. Damage does increase per point that you dump into it. Tier 1 bonus. Coal launches fire an additional large coal, which is what you saw right there in the middle, for a second impact on the targeted position for coal launch's current weapon damage, which is great. Tier 2 bonus gives an extra 25% of burning damage to enemies. Awesome. Even more damage over time. Increases the size of the burning coal launch area by 50%. So that means that area effect is going to be just a bit bigger, and you're going to be able to capture more baddies in that area. And as I've been discovering, that with that last update, I'm getting a ton more baddies per spawn. So that's a very good thing. Alright, back to Shotgun Blast. Shotgun Blast damage does go up per point you dump into it. Tier 1 bonus, Shotgun Blast gains 40% chance to knock back enemies, which is great, especially because, I mean, this is a melee character. You kind of want baddies in your face because they do help. I mean, you're a melee character. You kind of want them there. But in an oh shit type of situation, get them out of your face so that way you can get out of there. So, cool. 20% heat dissipation. I don't know how I feel about that, only because it's good to have the heat as a resource, unless you're trying to build some a spec that has no venting. But I don't understand the benefit of that because venting abilities are pretty awesome. Alright, and then the tier 3 bonus, while above 50% heat, Shotgun Blast fires a piercing, flaming projectile dealing the skill's current weapon damage. That's actually pretty cool. Very cool. Alright, moving on is going to be a Sonic Pulse. It is a debuff. It's a buff for you, I guess, but you cast it on your enemies, like so. And what it does in lore is that it finds the weaknesses of the enemy, increasing all damage against them by 40% for 6 seconds. And it, as you saw, it was a pretty decent sized AoE, and it works on bosses, it works on champions, it works on elites, it works on uniques. So having that extra damage being able to be applied to them, and also in a huge AoE effect like that, also affects large groups of baddies, and you can go in there and just absolutely tear them apart. Awesome. So in this case, dumping more points into it is going to cut that cooldown. You can use it more often. That is great. Sonic Pulse now stuns enemies for 1 second. You know, I can really dig that, especially if it works against champions. I can't see this CC actually working against champions, uniques, or bosses, but that would be great, especially if it's just enough to interrupt an ability that they're trying to use against you. Tier 2 bonus, negative 20% to relic active skill cooldowns, and Tier 3 bonus, Sonic Pulse now activates around you as well. I guess, so, because you can target it, like so, I'm assuming that whatever you target, plus whatever's directly around you. Sweet. That works for me. Okay, Slug Shot. Unleash a single high-powered shot that pierces enemies for 198% chest gun damage. The Slug Shot critical chance is increased every single time that you dump a point into it. Tier 1 bonus, 25% critical chance hit for Slug Shot. Tier 2 bonus, 10% critical chance for barrage skills, which is great because that applies across the entire skill tree. Sweet. And tier 3 bonus is every 5th slug shot always critically hits and deals double the damage. Okay, I don't know if I like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, double damage. 1. So you can get 2 of them, 2 of those nice big damages before you have to vent. Okay, but as you can see, just a straight line, and it is very much just a straight line. I didn't like this ability in its earlier incarnations like it is right now, just because it didn't do as much damage as I would have liked it to, considering its limited range. And I say range, limited AoE. I mean, yes, it is piercing, but it just didn't do it for me in very early levels. Maybe later on it might do, you know, some good, but at the same time, we're playing a game where we don't get too many respectacles. And with that being said, do I really want to take the chance and dump a whole bunch of points into it only to find out that it's not that great? That's tough. As of right now, I am level 20, and I've only found 3 respectacles. Okay? If I wanted to undo everything, I would need 20. Like, because right now, my character is built just to show you guys all of the abilities. So I don't have a build. I haven't dumped a lot of points into a single ability with the exception of Rapid Strike, just because I've been using that quite a bit. Okay? So that's always a bit concerning. Alright. So we have one more ability to discuss, and that is going to be Furnace Blast. So let's go ahead. This is a vent ability, so let's go ahead and build up that heat. Yeah. And then, okay, so it's a slow vent this time. It's not just a one and done. All right, I guess I'd have to see it in action, which we can check out, and I do want to demonstrate a new system to y'all, so I will demonstrate that in there. Let's see what it has to offer. This is the first time looking at it. Channel some of your heat to create a channel blast of flame out of your chest gun. It says channeled blast of flame. That didn't look like it was channeled. I was not just simply... Let's try again. Maybe I goofed something. Get that heat all the way up again. I'm holding the button down. That's not really channeled. Matter of fact, that big break in the middle has me losing a lot of heat, and I don't know if I would call that channeled. So that is something that I'll bring up to the devs and try to get that fixed, or change the wording, something. Flamethrower I would want as a purely channeled, you know, ability, not like that. Okay. Blast furnace damage goes up as you dump points into it. Tier 1 bonus, negative 50%. Heat cost for furnace blast. Okay, so that's with that bonus. So without that bonus, that heat cost would have went... I would have depleted that heat real quick. Would have only got one shot in there. Tier 2 bonus, 25% damage to burning enemies, so a little bit extra damage over time. Sweet. And Tier 3 bonus, furnace blast size increased by 50%. Alright. Okay, so that's it for the barrage type of abilities. Next, we're going to explore Rapid Strike, or the Brawl abilities. Let me move all these in here. These are fun. I'm not going to lie. These are fun. Some of these are a lot more fun than others. Okay, so all of these... Okay, good. We do have some bend abilities. Sweet. So, this first ability, Rapid Strike, is one of the abilities that I use quite a bit. I replaced my basic attack with Rapid Strike, just because it's slightly AoE, and it does a good amount of damage. And so I felt that it was more appropriate to use that than basic strike, despite the fact that I got a couple of unique weapons that allowed for extra damage to unique or to basic strikes. They were still very slow and not really worth the damage compared to what rapid strike actually did. What it does: strikes enemies in front of you with 4 rapid hits for 81% damage each. It generates 9 heat. And as you dump points into it, it does extra damage. So since I have put how many points did I put in? 6 points into it, right? 6 points into it. I get it says it right there, level 6 out of 10. I get the tier 2 bonus, which also gives me 20% brawl skills damage. That means all the abilities that I have and that I'll be using, I'm going to do 20% damage with all of those. And the tier 3 bonus, rapid strike attack speed is increased by 30%. Okay, so let's see what it looks like. Wrong button. I'm used to having it on that button. So that looks fun. Just this big fist goes out. You know what? It doesn't sound any real different when you're using it and punching something. That's oddly one of my biggest gripes about it, is that it doesn't sound very impactful. So it doesn't feel like I'm doing much damage and I'll show you what I mean when I demonstrate one of the new systems that I'm fighting stuff. All right, the next one up is going to be a vent ability. Vortex Bomb pulls foes towards you and then unleashes a devastating explosion. This sounds great, and I actually like this ability. I like it quite a bit, even more so than Coal Launch, because it brings everything in. And I use a few other abilities that benefits off of my enemies being very close together. So I like having it. Okay, Vortex Bomb cooldown gets reduced as you dump more points into it, so the damage does not increase. But the idea is to get your heat all the way up, and then kaboom, and then you go right back to punching, and it's a nice little combo. Of course, it could be arguable for the same as the Coal Launch, but I do like this because it brings everything closer to you, including champions, uniques, and legendary type monsters. All right, tier 2 bonus. Oh, I'm sorry, tier 1 bonus, double armor bonus lasts for 4 seconds after using Vortex Bomb. So when you do use it, doubles the armor while being used. Cool. Honestly, I didn't even notice. And this effect will double that armor bonus. Okay, tier 2 bonus, 20% damage reduction in melee combat. That means you will take less damage. So this is a highly defensive skill. Tier 3 bonus, using Vortex Bomb lobs 4 fire bombs that deal skill's current weapon damage in an area on impact. That sounds amazing. So I would love to see that in its fullest glory. Okay, another ability that I use quite frequently is the Ramming Bot. Movement skill. Charge headlong into foes, dealing 317% weapon damage and knocking them back. This is a great ability. It's a great movement skill to get you the hell out of certain situations, as you can clip right through enemies, and it is necessary to have this. I think this is one of those must-have abilities, not only because of its oh shit factor to get out of bad situations, but also because it does a good amount of damage. It's probably one of the most damaging abilities that you have in your arsenal from the get-go. So from level 1, it does more damage than any others at level 1, and it's a great ability. Yes, there are charges. Matter of fact, right now I only have a 3rd charge because of that tier 1 bonus. I did not have it before, so I only had 2 for a good long while. Tier 2 bonus, 20% relic active skill damage. That is also fantastic. I heavily rely on my relic skills because they are great skills to have. And since the latest patch, those relic skills have only gotten that much better. And the one that I'm using on this character is amazing, and I will be showing it to you, demonstrating how it works, and why I like it so much, especially for this character. The one that I'm using, it's called I'm not going to get into it right now. I'll talk about it later. Okay, before I get into that, because I do get into rabbit holes and go on tangents. Okay, tier 3 bonus. Ramming robot leaves behind a burning hotspot, dealing 100% weapon damage. So, trail of fire. So, more damage, especially AoE type damage. You got enemies that are going to be chasing you after you use it, so why not? I mean, that sounds like a great thing to have, especially if you do it through bosses, through champion packs, and whatnot. And this is what it looks like. And then there's a bit of cooldown. You can also use them all at the same time, but you can see the cooldown before each charge. So it's 10 seconds per charge. Not too bad. Alright, servo-driven uppercut is an ability that I started using for a bit, but I honestly ended up enjoying Rapid Strike much more. I tried to use this ability as a replacement for my basic attack, but wasn't really impressed with the amount of damage that it did versus Rapid Strike. Pound a single target, and that's one of the big issues right there. Single target. Directly in front of you with slow, hard-hitting hits of your fist, dealing 211% weapon damage with a 40% chance to stun for 2 seconds. Excuse me. I honestly, considering the other abilities that you have, I think this is not worth it, and it needs a lot of work in order to make it really impactful. I would much rather have you use it, it has a cooldown, or it uses, even as a vent ability. You uppercut, it does like a boom, kind of like a small AoE, and sends bad guys flying. That's something I would love to see in the uppercut move. How it is right now, in my opinion, useless. I tried using it, and it felt like I was tickling bad guys. It just was absolutely useless. Uppercut stun chance goes up as you dump points into it. Tier 1 bonus, 20% chance for servo-driven uppercut or stun every time you use it. Tier 2 bonus, 10% critical chance for brawl skills. Cool. So for every single brawl skill that you have equipped, you get an extra 10% critical damage. It's always important. Or, I'm sorry, critical hit chance. That is very important. Tier 3 bonus, every third hit of servo-driven uppercut deals double the damage. So you have to wait till you do 3 of those bad boys before doing double damage. And to me, the damage itself is not really all that worth it. So this is what it looks like. Again, using it that quickly. I never actually demonstrated the Vortex Bomb. That's what it looked like. You're using it that fast, and it's single target. It doesn't do that much damage, and I would love just to see that as a vent skill, as I said, and just punch the bejesus out of something and send it flying, doing a heavy amount of damage on par with your other vent abilities as opposed to what it is right now. Because I think this is a lame excuse to use compared to the awesomeness that is Rapid Strike. End of rant. Okay. Next up is going to be Power Projection. This is a great ability as well. I don't have it in my current build, but this is one of those things where if I decided I wanted to be some type of tank or support character, this is going to be the ability that I'm going to take. Power Projection is going to be a defensive-only skill. You activate it, it does its thing for a period of time, and then it goes away. Emit an energy field granting allies standing in the area 50% bonus defense, so it will buff your defense, which is great. Power projection increase by 15%. Power projection increased. Duration. Okay, there we go. That's the keyword. It lasts longer. That will be very, very useful. I mean, it's not that hard just to click a button to make it do its thing. It's not exactly short either, so I don't know if that is a necessary. I'd rather it give me more defensive bonuses as opposed to it lasting longer. Tier 1 bonus, power projection now heals you. awesome, and your allies for 15% of your total health on start, which is great. So not only are you getting a defensive boost, but you're also getting a bit of that health back, so you can use it in oh shit type situations as well. Your block chance is increased by 10% for 4 seconds after venting. This is your tier 2 bonus. Tier 3 bonus is power projection makes you and your allies invulnerable for 1 second on cast. I don't understand these. It makes you something for 1 second. 1 second. What good is something for 1 second unless you're really good at Lost Souls types games? This is not going to help you that much. I don't understand. Let alone, would it be worthy of a tier 3 bonus? So I do have issues with that. The tier 3 is pretty cool, but it's only 1 second. So, can it save you from, say, a big baddie? Whomp in your face, sure, but if based on how the bad guys are do the telegraphs and their animations, if you're standing in front of a big baddie and getting hit by one of those whomper stompers, it's your own damn fault, and you shouldn't have to rely on a 1 second. Yes, if you're extremely low on health, it does give you that second for to get something in there. But at the same time, your potions are not on that much of a cooldown. It's very rare. I'm just saying that would be nice more for a tier 1 bonus as opposed to building that thing all the way up to a tier 3 bonus. Maybe even a tier 2 bonus. But by the time you get to tier 3, I think it would be much better to have something a bit more worthwhile. I'm not looking to get like 30 seconds, a whole minute or something like that. But, you know, I don't know. You know, popping that and then popping ramming robot to get out of there, you know, would save your butt. But there's a lot of these 1 second things. I'm not a big fan of them. All right. Cyclone mode. Spin your way through foes, dealing 92% area weapon damage per second. Now, this one did seem like it was going to be a lot of fun. I didn't get a chance to Carolina Reaper popcorn. Oh, God. Yeah, I remember that stuff. Whew. Mouth started watering just thinking about it. This is a... Oh, I forgot to demonstrate. I mean, you saw it earlier. But it just looks like that. Summon a little helicopter over your head, and you can see that I summoned one over my pet's head. And I get those defensive bonuses. So, it's nice. Doesn't last that long, and then you have to deal with the short cooldown. So, that longer duration will come in handy. It did last a little bit longer before the patch, I noticed. So, maybe that's what the deal is with that. Okay. Back to Cyclone mode. Cyclone mode damage goes up as you dump points into it. Tier 1 bonus, negative 30% Cyclone mode heat cost, which is great. That means you can do it longer. Tier 2 bonus, 50% chance to heal for 3% total health on hit for brawl skills. For all brawl skills, you have a chance to heal off of that. Outstanding. That's great. Again, this character is more tanky than others, so to have the extra defense, have the extra heals, stuff like this is going to be very, very, very beneficial. Tier 3 bonus. After channeling Cyclone mode for 1 second, you explode for 100 weapon damage every second. Now that is a Tier 3 bonus worth celebrating. Are you kidding me? After just 1 second, see there's a 1 second thing that I like. After channeling it for 1 second, you explode for an extra 100% weapon damage every single second. Now that is fantastic. I like that. I like that a lot. And this is what it looks like. Whoa! Helicopter. So all of you Diablo fans that love... Oh. Wait a minute. Okay, there we go. I glitched there for a bit. Did you see that? My heat bar was all the way up, but I wasn't... Yep, right there. Look at that. That is going to have to be something that needs to get pointed out. There's no way I should be doing this right now. Woo! Oops. That needs to be identified, so I will bring that up because this is cheat mode. You can basically whirlwind forever. Now, it is really hard to get them to go anywhere, so you're going to have to eventually stop it. But for boss fights where you're not moving this much anyway, ooh, whirlwind automaton. All right. So, yep, that is a bit of an issue. Okay. Leap attack. No leap attacks. The closest thing we have to leap attack is going to be that ramming robot. So we don't quite get the barb of Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, but at least we get the whirlwind. Whirlwind is a Diablo favorite. Okay, so the last ability that I'm going to cover for the skill trees is going to be this one right here. Fracking Strike. So I need to build up some heat first. I'll do that after I talk about it. Okay. Fracking Strike. Channel some of your heat into your fist and send rippling waves of earth that hit enemies multiple times. For 53% weapon damage each, and slow enemies for 50% for 4 seconds. So that sounds great. So you're going to dump points into it to get more damage. Tier 1 bonus is going to Fracking Strike. Now does 2 close small impact hits to enemies directly in front of you. For the skills based weapon damage. Tier 2 bonus, relic active skill damage. Sweet. Get a couple of those in there and your relic skills would be unstoppable. Yes, Robot Barbarian. Got to get him some face paint. And tier 3 bonus, Fracking Strike, shockwave size is doubled. So let's go ahead and do this. Build up the heat. So I can get 2 of them in there off of a full heat bar, which is great. Oh, I can get a whole lot more in there. Whoa. Okay, looks like I found another issue. I definitely found... Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, didn't do it again. Spamming. Okay, so I can't duplicate it. What a bummer. Alright, so I can't duplicate that one. That first time I did it, I hit the button lots of times and it did it lots of times, unless I was just seeing things. It's a good possibility. Alright, so that's it for the abilities. The next up is going to be the relic. I decided to take the Blood Drinker. This is the last one I have not yet covered in between the now the 4th video spotlighting the classes. I'll probably end up having to go back and really do a good spotlight of the Sharpshooter, just because, I mean, you saw her in action quite well, but you didn't really get a feel for what all those abilities are like. So maybe that'll come at a later time. All right. So the Blood Drinker is perfect, especially for melee, where you want extra health, you need a little extra damage over time, because it does what you kind of sounds like it does. It does a lot of bleeds, okay? And your Blood Frenzy is going to be the actual ability that when you push E, that this kind of what it does. I'll show you. Oh, these little robots, by the way, are part of my armor thing, so disregard those. That's a passive bonus for my armor. But all of that does a heavy amount of damage, and it also puts a bleed on the enemies, and it's a pretty substantial bleed for that period of time. So it is a beautiful thing. We get some blood for blood. Once the Blood Drinker is overflowing, it rewards you with eternal life. Yay, health on kill while Blood Frenzy is active. So while that Blood Frenzy is active, anything that I kill, I get health back for that. So that's outstanding. And then this is going to increase the bleed chance. So And increasing bleed chance is going to be that much better because of these extra other passive skills that we get with this. The active skill, let me put that here, is like a baby version of what you just saw. Does pretty much the same thing. It puts a bleed, does a significant amount of damage, and it does a wide range of AoE, and I can put it close to anywhere I want it to go, and it has a fairly good cooldown. By the time you get through your other abilities, that thing is already prepped to go, and you're already using it again, and it completely destroys lower class baddies, and it does a good number of damage on enemies that are tougher. So, you know what? That's fantastic. I love it. But with its other passives, so I can buff its damage, grows more material in your realm, allowing it to cut ever so deeper to the flesh, therefore doing spinning blade damage increase with every point that I put into it, up to 10 levels. So go put more damage into it. And also, I can reduce the cooldown, which is fine, but I think the damage is more important right now because I'm not having a problem where it's like, oh my goodness, I really wish that I had these blades ready to go. By the time I even get halfway through that sentence, it's already ready to go again. Then we got Rupture, which is going to be a passive skill. Hitting a bleeding enemy has a 12.5% chance to make them explode for 49.5% weapon damage in a small area. I love exploding enemies. Who doesn't? But this is the one that I really like so far, Blood Pools. Killing an enemy has a 15% chance to drop a blood pool, which heals you for 5.5% of your total health. And I have seen this quite a bit because you're able to put on a bleed on some enemies every 6-7 seconds. So when they die, you'll see like a little kind of red pool with a metal thing sticking out of it, and you'll see it here shortly. And then you just walk across it. Eternal life effects are temporary. So these passive skills are always going to be there. Anytime you make something bleed, it's going to do these things. And as I said, that spinning blade is on only a 7-second cooldown right now, and that's without this cooldown reduction. So that just makes it all that much better. Your kind of oh shit button, that E button, I mean, you're just doing a good amount of damage, and you're making the chance to bleed there, as you see, is 50%. Gain 50% chance to bleed for 50% weapon damage over 4 seconds. And you and your allies within range gain a 25% damage buff. So this is a fantastic relic. I'd almost recommend this relic on any class. I mean, I really do like the Flame Destroyer on the Railmaster, but this one ended up being a lot better than I thought it was. So, all right. So that's it for the class. Let me go ahead and build back up my character where I had it. I don't remember what I had anymore. I know I had this. I know I had that. I had Blood Drinker. I had this. I had that. What's that other button? Oh, that's right, my oh shit button. And all right, so this is what I've been working with, and it's been working out pretty well. Some of the new features that I wanted to point out are right here in the fort. Now, I guess before I get into that, because the reason why I got some of the things I want to talk about was because of this. We used to have this contract system in the alpha and the beta, and then they took it out for the early watch. So I was pretty disappointed by that because it was a great way to get rewards, a lot of different types of rewards. And so I'm going to click on it, and it's going to start giving me rewards because that's what that 3 is. What it is that as you start killing really cool champions, bosses, and everything, they drop these fame resource, and you collect it just like you would experience it. It fills up your bar, and you get rewards for every tier. So in this case, my level 10 reward is enhanced two-handed weapon. Sweet. My level 11 is I get a bare oak tree. I already had that. And I get a boot scraper. Great. Oh. Okay. My inventory's full. That's awkward. Oh, I got a lot of those. And these I sell for money, so... Alright, back in there. So claim these. Now it's going to tell me my stuff's full again. So let me back out. Claim those. Bam. Bam. And what those are is that those are decorations for my fort. And that's really what I wanted to show you. Barracks tent and a planning table. Sweet! I gotta figure out what that is. I hope it's really cool. So I'm gonna put down these new things. And as I level up, which I'm about to do here pretty soon, I will then get a legendary gear bundle. I can't wait to see what I get. So hopefully you can see what I get on this stream. That's the idea, because I'm going to be going through one of the new systems. So while I'm here, let's go ahead and put down these new things that I got. I've got a few new things, such as this clock cleaner, and I've got a few other things as well. Bare oak tree, boring, boot scraper. Put that right here. Great. And I got the mausoleum, which was really cool. The officer's tent, which was also really cool. And you'll notice that I did not actually claim these two things. So I got a barracks tent and a planning table. That's what I really want to put down. So decoration, house, barracks tent. Put this right here. And then my planning table, I gotta find out where that is. Oh, right there. Build one of these bad boys. That right there. And then I'll build a campfire or something like that. And, oh, I was kind of hoping it would let me interact with it. Not the case. Okay. As you can see, I made my tree as big as it can be. I have, which gives me a 5% gear level. So I get better gear as I go along. The mausoleum, that's what it looks like. And the coolest thing that that I've been able to get are these statues. One thing I did not know what they were was I can click on it and I can put my gear on it. So I thought that was really fantastic. So what you have here is swap all, swap armor, swap weapons. If I wanted to, I can just... It's like a wardrobe in Diablo 3 where it's like, oh, I want to change my build out, and I can do that. It comes in very handy for if you have a bunch of lifebound things. You can just come back rather than taking up space in your stash. You just like boom right here on these guys. So it's really cool. I can even do it to this one, but it's the wrong class. I can only interact with whatever class that I'm actually playing. This is a Railmaster. This is a Dusk Mage. So it is what it is. So I thought that was a very cool feature. Very cool feature. Can I enter the barracks tent? Probably not. No. I don't even think I can enter this one. Even if I were to move that fire out of the way. Candles. Yeah. They're just there for looksies. Bummer, right? So I still do have to build up this Forsaken Fortunato and the Hived Bane Bloom. So getting there. Almost. And finally able to move my pet storage. So this is, as you go, you'll be collecting all your pets, and then when you send them home, this is where they go. And you can pull them out as you want to. So, good stuff. All right. Last thing I really wanted to show you is that there's a new system that I really, really like. That I'm hoping that they bring back the ability to have a station right here in your fort that you can build to get maps. Maps are like rifts from Diablo 3, or instant maps like in like the Atlas and Path of Exile. And these are great things. I've been saving this one. This is the Voltaic supply run map. In this case, 25% bonus gear luck, and you summon a portal, you go in, you clear it, and then you're done. Okay? It's a great way to level because it's geared at your level, as opposed to when you're trying to level up while doing quests. There's level caps. The enemies that you're fighting aren't that strong, aren't nearly as strong as you are. So it's kind of hard to level up just doing the story. Great place to get gear. Great place to get levels. The only downside is that right now these maps are limited. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to see more here soon. Like a vendor or something like that. Right now it's just not the case. Alright, so let's go do it. Go here. Click on it. Summon the portal, and boom! Bit of a load screen. Come on, man. Come on. Alright. So in this case, it looks like I'm going to be fighting more Forged. Bad guy Forged. Which is good, because then I can level up that Fortunato. Right now, I also have it set to a harder difficulty, so I'm on hard as opposed to normal, and I haven't done one of these maps since these maps are typically a little bit harder, and these guys also like to take away my abilities. So we'll see how well this goes. I might die a couple times. So you can see there that I've got a couple of exploding pets, and I've got the two pets that my pet has pets. That's how awesome my pet is, and they do damage, and they also die really quickly. Can't click on those things.
That spell cannot be cast.
Bollocks. Ah, champions. Elites.
Cast that spell here. You're badly hurt.
I know. Oh. Okay, there we go. Glitched there a bit. Come on.
You can't do that.
One thing I do like about each of the characters is that they have their own unique way of gathering resources. In this case, yep. Wow, come over here. What are you doing, bud? Out of his chest comes his tools. Is there a dude over here? Nope. Nice little clipping issue there. At least I'm able to recover out of it. Oh, different type of potion. One thing I do look forward to seeing is this character and with an actual build, the tier bonuses and whatnot. Right now, a bit handicapped, as I've said before or in my last video, is that when you just put in points into skills that you're not looking at actually using, then it's hard to get them back unless you farm bosses or farm those respectacles. I mean, eventually you'll be able to recover all the points. And I do have the ability to get at least 3 of them back. Oops.
Your journeys have
I like
ended.
also how they say, like, I died 1 time. Maybe try a normal difficulty? Jerk. Oh, I didn't go up here yet.
It's trapped.
It's trapped. I'll take them potions.
Past that here.
I wanted to use my E button,
Leveled up.
but I can't. Give me my ability back. Punk.
You are wounded.
I have yet to. There we go. I've yet to really figure out what causes me to lose that.
You are near
Whoa.
death. Can't do that here.
Well, figure it out. Alright, so I did complete. I thought I completed the quest. Now, before there were not. These chests weren't giving any loot when you complete the quest. And now they just don't even let you open them. So, thanks for nothing.
You feel better.
Oh, really? What? Am I feeling bad? My pet got stuck. My pet's somewhere. Got stuck somewhere. So that's great. Oh, there you are. Come on, dude. Alright, come on. Give me some more stuff to kill. Yeah. That right there that I just picked up or walked across, I know it was hard to see behind that tree. That was one of those blood pools that I was talking about earlier. Left over for my relic passive. Ow. Watch out for that. I not want to do that.
Can't cast that spell.
Of all the classes, I have to say that I still like the Railmaster the best. This one is definitely much more fun than it used to be. I have not yet played the Real Masters since the update, which I'm going to do. There's the saw. So cool.
Use that skill.
Ah, the game's still glitchy. Wanna play? Should do. I should put this.
You're hurt.
Facebook. After I get area.
You've gained a level.
See, this map, I've already gained 2 levels. That's very significant. When you're questing, you can go several quests without leveling up, so it's very nice to be able to level up twice just in one map. You'll probably see more people doing this more so than going through the actual quest, and that can be good or bad. You know, I'm kind of hoping that we have to at least, kind of like how Diablo 3 does it, you have to go through all the quests and the story at least once before you can start doing maps. I mean, there's benefits to it and cons to it. It really depends on your play style and what you really want to get out of a gaming, or out of the game itself. Alright. Put my little plug there. And at the same time, I mean, you could get max level just on maps, and you still have to go through the story, because as you do go through the story, as of right now, you're capped at certain levels. So, meaning that if I'm in a level 6, or in a part of the story where I'm only allowed to be level 6, my gear, my stats, everything will be that of level 6. It's, like I said, it's good and bad. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to be fighting a boss. Hopefully it doesn't glitch. Some of these have been pretty glitchy. Last time I was here, the boss didn't spawn. Yay, the boss spawned. See, with all those cooldowns, his health just plummeted. Oh, vent. Can't forget the vent. There's that pool blood, the blood pool. I got 5.5%, barely even saw my health move, so, but it helps. And come back into my poison pool. Come here. Oh, you. There we go. See, what you got for me? Nothing great. So the thing that I just picked up is that previously you would get a piece of gear and it would be life bound, and you would need one of these in order to opt out of that, but sometimes you would die before you had a chance to get one of these things and lose that gear, and that sucked, because when something is life bound, you lose it if you die. So they changed it to now where scroll of life bound, I can use this on something to make it lifebound. Case in point, but watch its stats. So right now, damage 112, 95 electric damage, 16.4 electric damage. If I make that lifebound, damage goes up to 134. It is now 114 electric damage and 19.7 electric damage, additional damage. So it will make the item more powerful. There's even a new border around the item. You can see the skull with a little bit of yellow compared to the others. It does make it more powerful, but again, if you die, it's gone. So I can sit there, especially with how many that I have. I mean, I have 24 back in my stash right now. I can make all my armor just lifebound, and I'd be strong as hell. But God forbid I get stuck and I die. And now I have to go find a new set of armor, which is great what those wardrobes are, but it's still... that's rough. Oh. What do I get? So, this is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for new chest cannon. I'm hoping for the set of legs that I have, because right now my legs, even though they're legendary, it's not of the same set. Or a new door. Come on. Okay. Not going to show me what it is. Do I have to go? Okay. Come on. And I got something I already had, of course. At least it's a little bit stronger. That's level 10. And this is level 22, so it's definitely going to be stronger. 68 defense, electric defense. I'd rather have fire defense. Gear luck is a little bit worse. Attack speed for basic attacks. Don't need that. And I lose an enchanting slot. Not that I had one anyway. So, oh well. It works. Of course I get something I already had. I couldn't even get like a legendary piece from a different set. Nah, I just had to get exactly what I had before. That's the kind of luck that I have. To be fair, I've been having some pretty good luck with weapons, whatnot. I can show you because I got the two of these firewalls, got these two, and then I have three new weapons actually in my fort right now. 2 swords and a staff. Trash from there, and then we're done. So again, great way to get gear, great way to get there's no exit portal. It's supposed to be an exit portal. Great way to get gear, great way to get experience, and it's the rifting system from Diablo 3 and the Atlas from Path of Exile. That's really all it is. But I really like it, especially if you're tired of going through and getting and doing the quest or whatever, something different. Do a dungeon, get some sweet gear. If nothing else, you're getting some good fame, because that comes with its own rewards. And one thing I can also show you about those contracts is you're not just tied to that one path there. As soon as I get in there, there's one thing I forgot to show you. I see some folks popping in here every now and then bailing real quick. Guess I'm putting folks to sleep. That's all good. It's all good. All right. So if you go to contract, it says here you can switch to contract. So if I wanted to, I can make this one active, and I can follow a different a path. So different rewards. Huh. That's cool. Man, there's going to be so much stuff. Jawbreaker, sharpshooter plans. That looks cool. There's going to be so much stuff that you can get that your fort is going to be so busy. You're not going to know what to do. Oh, inert. This is what I really want, because this is what we used in order to generate those maps, but I guess it doesn't work right now. Bastards. I'd be working for that right now. See, that's cool. Little statues. Imperial wagon. And then when you get to a certain level, you start right back over. I also have this one. I want to make it active. Legendary maps. That's always great stuff right there. Yep. So, all right. Ooh, I want that. Cooking stove. wonder if we can actually use these things. So these are pretty neat rewards. I like it. But anyway. All right. There's been a lot of other changes. There's a lot of quality of life changes that we can all pretty well appreciate. I'm looking forward to seeing how this game is going to progress. I mean, they've done, in my opinion, I think they've done a great job with the game thus far. And I definitely feel that it needs work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's perfect by any means. I think that the game will need to have some additional polish. I mean, right now, I can go to Echo Landing, and I'm not even through Act 2 yet. So, I mean, there's obviously some issues. But in the coming weeks, we should be seeing the next update. We should be seeing more quality of life, more balancing, and I look forward to it. I'm not gonna sit and try to get as far end game as possible. Again, I know that we're gonna end up going through some type of character wipe, and as much of a bummer as it is, I still wanted to make sure that I was able to show you guys the different classes and show you what they were all about, what I thought was good, what I thought was not so good. Get a chance to show you the abilities, most importantly the abilities, because I mean, that's what makes a character. And I really do hope that you like these videos. I will be making more as I progress further and as these new updates drop. So count on seeing some additional videos for the sharpshooter. I want to get in more depth with how that character works, but I definitely want to wait until she's a little bit stronger, because I really like sharpshooter class, and as almost as much as the rail master class, and rail master class is still my favorite. But all right, so that's it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more Torchlight 3 early access as we pave the way to official launch. All right, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything that you would like for me to investigate further or showcase, you let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, Horseman out.